Fab.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Hello everybody, welcome to Outwest's very first YouTube video. I'm here with my co-founder, who is also my wife. And we're going to do a little video today just on, I guess, the story so far of Outwest. What it's been. We've a lot of new faces here, a lot of new people here, a lot of new customers from all over the world. And we just wanted to go back, I guess, and do a quick recap as how we've gotten to this point so far.
Yeah.
So Rebecca's going to take us away, and she's going to say, what is Outwest?
Outwest is an outdoor apparel brand built for and inspired by the Irish outdoors. We kind of started Outwest when we first met. So Shane and I met in the middle of COVID, November 2020, and there was nowhere to go properly dating. I'm pretty sure we went on our first dinner date in like the June of 2022, or 2021 probably. So we hiked all around the Dingle Peninsula for our first few dates. Mm-hmm. Beforehand, I was in Dublin for 7.5 years, but originally from Tralee, and I was very much a blue sky hiker. And Shane did not allow me to be a blue sky hiker on the Dingle Peninsula, so we got out in all weather. And we actually looked at it the other day, 11th of February?
11th of Feb
2021, I lost a jacket up in Pedlar's Lake. I had a really, really nice jacket. It was exactly perfect for what I needed. It was water repellent, windproof. It had a nice fleece inline, soft shell jacket, and I lost it. It was gone. We were trying to take, insert photo here, this photo, when I lost the jacket, and we searched for it again. It was gone anyway. And around a family dinner with my parents, my dad, kind of not jokingly, because he's a very serious character, but Shane and I took it as a joke, said, why don't you create your own? He's very entrepreneurial, and we kind of thought about it, and we were like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Like, it would fit into our lifestyle, fit into kind of what we're all about. But it wasn't until 2 weeks later that we were probably out hiking again, and the two of us turned to each other and were like, have you been thinking about this jacket idea for 2 weeks? And on that hike, we basically, as we did on a lot of them, just standing side by side from each other, just started talking, and we kind of developed the concept of Outwest and what we wanted it to be.
I have a slightly different version of that story. What happened was we were en route to going to Rebecca's family home when she realised that she'd forgotten her jacket. Told her family that when we arrived at her house that she'd forgotten her jacket. Me being the new boyfriend trying to impress her mum and dad, I said I would go back up the mountain and look for the jacket, which I did.
It's not a mountain, it's a small climb from Pedlar's Lake, if anybody knows it.
Made the effort. Most people will appreciate that. Jacket gone. Yeah. So then, and the reason we came up with the word out west is because when we first started going out, Rebecca's mum and dad would ask her if she was going out west this weekend. To me, geographically, Dingle is further west than Tralee, so hence the term, and we thought it was a nice word. It meant a lot to us at the very beginning of our relationship. It means more to us now, well into our relationship. So that's kind of how Out West started. We didn't, I don't know, I will say at the start, we didn't really know what we were doing. We didn't really know what we wanted it to become. Yeah,
we had no idea. Like, in terms of experience, I'd worked in marketing and event management and marketing for kind of FMCG goods, and Shane had an incredible endurance background.
Yeah, my background was mainly in the fitness industry for like 11 years. The only experience I had was actually probably wearing the garments, training, hiking, climbing.
And I had the experience in marketing them, but not creating them. So it was a really interesting dynamic when we dove into what we wanted it to be. And it's really interesting. I think it was you that used to always say it at the very start, which was just get out there, just do it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And there is an element of it having to be very, very good for customers, but like, don't wait till a garment is perfect. And we kind of came up against the first challenge when we tried to create jackets and realised how expensive they were to create, and we did not have the funds to create jackets. So we slightly pivoted then into kind of the more inspired by part of Out West and created all of our amazing jersey and cotton garments to start off with.
Yeah, and like what I know now about the industry, you fly to trade shows, you fly to factories, you meet people. It's very collaborative. You know, working together. You know, person to person in a boardroom. You know, sending samples, looking at samples. But it was in the middle of a COVID lockdown. Everything was happening on Zoom. I have a very vivid memory of Rebecca sitting on our apartment floor with like pieces of paper cut out the sizes of fleece, and they were taped together, and she was measuring the fleece sample on top of the pages, and I was just like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
This is good crack. We don't know where this is going to go. And I think that's kind of really how it started. We just wanted to see what people liked, see what people wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of brands and companies, startups now, they've so much work done on the brand before they even release a product, before they even launch a website. They do like months of workshopping and mentoring and all these kind of things before they even actually decide what it is or what it's going to be. Whereas we, I think, just said, let's just start. We had nothing really to lose, we had nothing really to gain, and we said, we're both passionate about this, we both like it, let's see what happens.
Yeah. And I think that was a really good way to start, because I think a lot of people will, like that, focus in on the brand or also be too scared to just take the leap. What we did is we started small. Like you can see behind us, we have a huge collection now, like 2.5 years on, but our original collection was 2 colours of long sleeves, 2 colours of sweatshirts and 2 colours of fleeces, and that was it. And it was a really good way to start, and we listened to our customers. Our community at Outwest is everything. We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be in the shop if it wasn't for the amazing community that we have behind us, and we owe everything to them. And they helped us develop. They inputted what they would like us to do and see, and we were reaching basically out to our target market, asking them, what do you want us to create? And of course, everyone was saying jackets, and we were slowly behind the scenes working on a jacket. And we launched our very first soft shell jacket in September 2023. But rolling back then, before that, talking about community and actually meeting people face to face, is we originally launched online. So Outwest launched online with our 6 products on the 28th of April 2022, and we got the shop. There is a debate on this, whether it was the 1st of August or the 31st of July 2022 is when we opened the shop. Our amazing shop in the heart of Dingle on Green Street. We opened the doors. We also had no idea. Both of us had never worked in retail before in our lives. And we'd worked in kind of like convenience stores and stuff like that, but never in like a clothing retail. And we opened the August Bank Holiday weekend, which to anyone around Ireland or around the world is probably one of the busiest weekends of the summer. And we just jumped, just like starting the business, we just jumped in head first, and we just learnt on our feet. Like, you learn quickly, you learn to adapt. I was only saying to one of the team members the other day, the first time someone brought back a receipt for an exchange or a refund, it took me like 5-10 minutes to figure out how to do it. So it was very much learning on your feet, which was a great way to do it. And like, we worked so hard for those. Like, we opened in August, and I don't think we closed the door. We worked like 7 days a week until the end of October time, when we finally took a day off. But it was so fun, and it still is so fun, and we love it. But like, being actually able to meet the people that were on our Instagram, buying online, to actually be able to come in and try it on, we definitely think retail is where it's at. Like, it's, people want that human connection. They want to come in, they want to talk to us, they want to talk to our other team members. I think retail is where it's at. People say it's dying. I very much disagree. Because
I think as well, early on, just for context for people, we actually planned to not open a shop. We planned to be a fully online e-commerce brand, and we changed our mind on that. Like, we changed our mind on a lot of things throughout the last couple of years. We changed our mind on that very quickly when this shop came up. So the history of our little shop is that it was a jewellery shop. It was actually day one, it was also a clothes shop. I didn't know that until quite recently. Then it was a jewellery shop for 20 years. An amazing woman called Niamh ran a really, really great jewellery business here. And something I also only found out recently, the building company who are currently renovating our house actually built this building as well, which is Yep, Ireland's a small place, but we never really planned to open a shop. But when the shop came up, we have friends on the street in business and stuff, and asked their opinion and asked other people's opinion, and they told us not to. But then we asked people who were actually on the ground here in Dingle, and they said you'd be crazy not to. So gave it a shot. No staff, like. Painted the place ourselves, I think I built the shop counter like the morning we were opening, like just threw something together really quickly, just figured it out, and it completely changed everything for Outwest. So
100%.
I think it's really hard to, I suppose, maybe put into a couple of minutes like how it started, because it evolves. First of all, it evolved so slowly. It was so slow, and next thing was like we went from like rolling nice and slowly to being like foot down the pedal as fast as we can go.
I don't think we've taken it off since.
No. We don't plan to.
And we don't plan to. Yeah, so open the shop. The shop's been now going for 2.5 years. It's currently October, the end of October 2024 when we're recording this. And it's been amazing. In 2023, we hired our first member of our team, who has been an integral part. Ciúin is an integral part of our team here and growing with Outwest, and has also had to like come in and just be adaptive. Like I think Outwest, like constantly changing, constantly adapting to like having a shop and having an online business and doing marketing. Like you always feel like you're spinning 10 million plates. And she picked that up so well and took a couple of plates from us and started spinning them herself, which was amazing. And so that was April 23, and now we're at a team of 6 in October 2024, which is amazing. Yeah.
I mean, if I was to add one other thing about the start, is I think it maybe delves into like the next question is like what actually inspires Outwest. But I feel so deeply rooted in like the landscapes here and all the landscapes all over the west coast of Ireland, but obviously we're from here, so like I felt that this was a really good way to put the west of Ireland into something without it being too west of Irelandy, if that makes sense. So like the ruggedness of the landscapes, the wildness. So like people always say, I hate the winters in the west of Ireland. I love them. I absolutely love the wildness, the weather, the cold, the wind, because that's actually what shaped our landscapes here. It's been the bad weather over the years, every storm, every wave that crashes against the coastline here. That's how we have this beautiful coastline, is because it's resilient, it's strong, it's never given up, it's never broken, and it's just beautiful. So, that's something I think as well that we didn't maybe realise at the very beginning, that like we're creating something really cool in what I think is the most beautiful place in the world. So not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, I think that just literally sums up the next question we're going to talk about, which is what inspires us. It is literally the landscape, and as we develop our more technical wear, which is kind of our plan for now onwards, is being able to test it. Not everyone can say they can test like waterproof jacket, windproof, breathable in the place that has the harshest weather environments. So if it can stand up to being here on the west coast, it can stand up to anywhere. And just the colour in the landscape, like colour is kind of like my thing within the business, is picking the colours. And it's really interesting also with two co-founders how it works so differently. Like your brain is very logical, very operational kind of way. You're very good at
logical.
Like logistics, sorry, more like logistics, operational, that kind of way. While mine is more like creative and design. So when it comes to colours, like we're out hiking and I'm like, oh my God, that green's amazing. And people used to always say, you can't have 6 different shades of green in a collection. I beg to differ. You can, because each green suits a different person. And I think what allows us to be so unique is we don't pick up pick up a colour card and just choose from like primary colours. We work with Pantone colours, so we can be really specific. Like we can look out on the ocean, and if you look out on the ocean, there's like probably 16 types of blues all around the ocean, and it's picking one to put into our collection. So each of our collections and each of our colours and designs within the collection is from a hike or a story or an event or something where we've seen it and we've been like, yes, that's what we want to create, that's what we want to put in a garment. So yeah, it's a really passion.
Something I think about quite a lot. I don't actually remember who said it, and then maybe in a future video I will try and figure out who said it. I have a feeling it's one or two things. It was like I read it in a book or somebody said it. Like we used to have these people that would come and give us talks in primary school about the history of Dingle and history of the peninsula and stuff, and they mentioned like the energy on the Dingle Peninsula. I never really fully knew what they meant until probably like 2 or 3 years ago, when in lockdown you'd be out and all kinds of, it was either stay inside or go outside and go for a hike or an adventure. Because I suppose with my background with all the running and all the climbing and stuff all over the world, I thought that you'd have to get on a plane to go on an adventure, but in lockdown all you could do was open the front door. That was your adventure. You had to start there and it ended there. But there is an energy from the wildness of the landscapes here, whether it's the waves crashing against the coast, it's the wind, it's the rain. You just feel good after you've been outside.
It's also sunny sometimes, I promise.
It is sunny sometimes, yeah. But there is an energy there that you feel when you come back from a climb, or you come back from hiking up and down Mount Brandon, you come back from a swim in Menard, you come back from a trail run up the Connor Pass. You just feel different. You feel better. You feel stronger. And yeah, we're just going to try to use that. Like that inspires me a lot. Yeah. I mean, and as big as we get and the huge goals that we do have, we'll never lose that core inspiration. Yeah. We won't make it all about everything, but I think keeping that at to the forefront of
at the heart of the brand. I think the brand always has to have a founding story, and literally what we've talked about for the past couple of minutes is the founding story. We have really, really cool, massive goals, which we'll talk about later, but it's the inspiration is literally at our front door, and we're incredibly lucky to have it. Now, there are also challenges that come with starting a brand on the west coast of Ireland in a rural area, which we can go through now, and just brands in general, not even building a brand based here, but being a small business in Ireland, there's often challenges that we come up against.
Yeah, so, I mean, the challenges that we face, I would say my answer to this might be different to your answer to this. I think definitely, even though we're 4 years in it now, getting products right is the hardest thing.
Oh, I agree with that one.
So hard. Now, we're really lucky that we're working with some amazing production partners, and they're so helpful, and they're so patient as well. And they're always offering their feedback to us as well. Have you tried this material? What would you think about this? And so on and so forth. So we're very lucky in that sense. But it's going to be a challenge going forward. You're trying to create garments that fit people. As we know, there's so many different kinds of people. Some people are going to love what you're doing. Some people won't like what you're doing. It won't fit. The size isn't right. They don't like the material. But then other people will become huge fans of the brand, and all they'll buy is Outwest. So that for me is I find that quite hard. And I know you have said it from day one, sizing is the most important and also the hardest thing to get right. So I would say that's a huge challenge of ours, but we will get better at it going forward as well. That's the thing. The more we do, the better it'll get.
And the more we feed back to our community. Like, we've had a jacket here that every single lady who comes in, I'm like, please try this on. And we've probably only met them 5 minutes ago. It's their first time in the shop. And I'm like, please try this on. We just want to test this, because at the end of the day, we are a team of 6. We don't have budgets like let's say, I don't know, big Pennies who hire fit models for different sizes. We don't have that. We just have our community to help us out, which is the way I always want to keep it. But yeah, and I think the kind of testing of garments as well, we've kind of in 2024, as we've delved more into the technical wear, like we have a minimum 3-month testing period, and that's it. Like we have to be able to test them. We have to test them in the rain before they even go to production, because there can be this trend within fashion that, and it's actually something we're stepping away from in 2025, is like huge drop collections. You have to create a spring summer, you have to create an autumn winter. You don't have to. Like,
says who?
Says who, exactly. And we're not a trend driven brand. We're not taking stuff off the runway and producing it and trying to sell it. Like, the kind of ethos behind Out West is that it's nature inspired, and nature never goes like out of season or out of style. So in kind of 2025, we're starting to make like a thing called no hard launches, so that we're not up against a clock to try and produce a jacket or try and produce a t-shirt or a long sleeve. We're waiting till we get it right rather than just doing it straight away. And I think especially in the technical wear, like testing it on our front door, where we want people to wear them, testing them on adventures. If you're only given like 2 weeks to test something and it's not raining, which happened with our waterproof jackets when we launched them in September. We had a heat wave for 2 weeks. We didn't get it now they got a lot of testing in July. So, but yeah, it's just an interesting thing. Our lead times are really long because we want them to be long, because we want to know that when we put out a product that like the functionality, yes, we might alter fits in slightly different ways, but we want them, if we say it's waterproof, it's waterproof. If we say it's breathable, it's breathable. That we stand against the kind of properties within the garments as well.
Today is the 31st of October, the day of recording this. Last year we attended a huge trade show in Europe in December, and one of the meetings at that trade show we decided to create the Out West sock. And the Out West sock is on sale today. Nearly 11, coming up on 11 months after that first initial meeting. So I think
that's only a sock. Not only a sock.
The end consumer thinks that we decide to create a product and that in a month it's on the shelves and it's on the way on the pallets. It's not reality, unfortunately. So the sock, as beautiful as it is, took a lot of testing. Design took a lot of work. We've got 2 socks, a leisure sock and a hiking sock. So the hiking sock had to be rigorously tested, washed many times, etc., etc. So it is definitely one of the challenges. And as we grow, we'll get better. We'll have streamline our processes and stuff like that. But I think the reality definitely kind of hit home with me this year with the technical stuff. We're like, okay, we need to get samples. Then you almost need to just close the door and go away and start testing, and then come back and reopen those conversations, negotiations, get feedback from the team, get feedback from our customers. And I will say as well, that's one thing that we've I think we're quite good at, is we ask our customers what they think, whether that be in person in our retail shop or online as well. I think it's very, very important. And
it's so amazing to be able to do that and have a customer base. Like on Instagram, like we put up a lot of polls like on Instagram of like, what sleeves do you want to see? Do you want graphics? Do you not? What colors do you want to see? Like we really feedback, because at the start, like our customers are everything, our community is everything. So yeah, it's I think product, like obviously we're a product-based business and product is always going to be our challenge. But I actually, as you were talking about the long lead times, actually, as much as it is stressful of lead times and deadlines and stuff like that, it's also really fun. Like product testing is great fun. Like we have something in the works that I've been using in like lots of different capacities, and to see how it's being tested running and in the gym and hiking, and even having a sample in the shop to show people, and people's feedback is just so, it's such a fun thing to then know you've been working on something for 11 months, then see it come to market and see our community absolutely love it. It is one of the best feelings. I think our waterproof jacket is an example of that.
Yeah.
Like that was nearly 18 months in the works. And then it finally came to life and people love it and people are testing it, and it's not only us, and we're getting feedback now saying, oh my God, I wore it out and it was absolutely lashing rain and I didn't get wet. Like that's music to our ears.
For me, it's like, I know the product arrives, it's good. Like we know it's good. Like we're so confident in it. But for me, it's when the review comes in online from someone you don't know, maybe someone who's just ordered online. We've never actually physically met them in person, and they're looking from afar. They're trusting us. They like what we're doing. They're buying the product and they're super impressed with it. I'm like, for me, that's a job well done.
Yeah,
you know. And then as we grow, like that's going to be. We're gonna stick to that. You know, we've had so many people give us advice and look at this, you should do that now as you grow and stuff like that. But we're gonna stick to our guns. We're gonna stick to what works. We're not gonna rapidly just grow for the sake of growing.
Yeah. I think that's really important, is like we have capacity to scale and to grow, but we want to do it in a really organic way, because there's a lot of businesses that grow too fast and scale too fast, and then they burn out of cash flow and they burn out of themselves and they just can't handle. And I think back to our ethos and back to the Out West thing, it's all about the journey. Our favourite part, like when we go out on adventures, and it's kind of the underlying theme of the brand, is like it's part of the journey, not about the destination. And at the moment we're on a really, really cool journey of building Out West, and we want to keep it that way, and we will eventually end up at the destination, but enjoying the part of getting here, and all the highs and lows. And every entrepreneur who's watching this or like will know that there are so many peaks and so many like yesterday I was scrubbing stickers off hangers, and then I turned around and within 5 minutes we were creating our biggest ever purchase order for Out West. Like there's so many highs and lows, or just like basic jobs, like you have to go down and you have to clean the bathroom in the shop, and then you're talking to someone who's potentially a big order for us, and you know, there's all waves, I think.
I think as well, one thing is that in this day and age, like it's almost like an expectation that you have to become the biggest. I actually completely disagree with that. I think we may not become the biggest, but I tell you one thing, in 5 to 10 years time we'll be one of the best. By far. And I think there's a huge difference between the two of those. The biggest companies often aren't the best. You know, we're certified B Corp, so like our impact in all of our stakeholders, so your stakeholders are yourselves, your owners, your manufacturing partners, your customers, your community, everyone, your employees. Like for me, that's really what I look at for like if we're to jump forward into the future of Out West. I think that's for me, like if we were 10 years down the line from this video, and when we reshoot this video in 10 years time, I would love to be in a very, very similar position, but with a larger impact on all of our stakeholders. So a much more positive impact in our community, ourselves, our employees, our manufacturing partners, the planet, and so on and so forth, you know. So I think
our charity partners as well.
I think one other thing as well is we spoke about challenges, but we never spoke about, I actually believe that we have advantages as well. We have some advantages here, being based on the west coast of Ireland, mainly the energy we get from the wind and the rain. But I think as well, it really keeps us grounded to who we are. You know, we've already been given advice that we should send all of our e-commerce stuff to a fulfillment centre in I don't know where. But I can tell you now, every single online order will be packed in West Kerry by an Out West member of staff. The note will be written by a member of Out West staff, and it will come from here.
We want to employ people here, that's the thing. We don't want to have to move. We want to create year-round employment here, and like that's what success looks like for us, I think. That's the impact, as Shane was talking about, in 10 years time. If we can have an impact on our employees, that we've gone from having in 10 years time maybe 6 people to 60 people, like that's incredible. And it's all back into not only the economy here on the peninsula, but also into the economy in Kerry and in Munster and then in Ireland as well. We have some really big goals, but I think as long as we stick to our roots here as well, we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think probably if I was to add one final thing like to the future, you just mentioned there like our charity partners. So you may or may not know we have a very, very good and meaningful relationship with New Wave Oil Project. Yeah. So to give the elevator pitch, and I don't usually do these very well, is New Wave Oil Project provide adventure therapy for mainly young people, but all people in the outdoors. So they deliver therapy sessions through the medium of nature in green and blue spaces. So they use the forests, they use the mountains, they use beaches, water, lakes, etc. And we donate a percentage of our profits to New Wave to pay for sessions for young people and all people that may not be able to access that kind of care, or that may not have gone through the government system to access that kind of care. You know, and some of the stories that we've heard from New Wave already on the impact, not to be overusing the word impact, but the impact that just our small amount of donations that have made since May, I find personally like very, very inspiring, because we know how powerful nature is and like what nature can do and what nature's done for us. But like on the opposite scale of it, like nature could save some young guy or girl's life. It could be the catalyst for them to make better decisions. And you never know, you know, some young person might go through a program at New Wave and in 10 years time they could be working with Outwest. So like for us that's hugely motivating, and also leads us back to we're creating a lot more than clothes.
Yeah, I think we're, if I could sum it up, start of the part, it's like a community impact-led brand, like all about our community and all about our impact in our stakeholders. And you often, it's really interesting because I've been to a couple of like business forums over the last while, and people ask like, what does success mean to you? Like you often get asked that as a business owner, like what does success mean to you? And I think what we've just spoken about over the last like 5-10 minutes is what success means to us for the future of Outwest. And yes, it's like in the future of Outwest, I want to kit someone out head to ankle in Outwest gear. They should be able to be wearing everything from Outwest and go out and tackle the adventures no matter the weather. But also it's having an impact in our community, both our Outwest community all around us, or our local community here right outside our front door. Our employees, we want to make our employees' lives better. We want to give more back to our charity partners as we grow. Also, like one of our factories that we work with in Portugal, we worked it since the very start. Like our very first collection, like, and Shane going back said, like, you know, they're helping us, you know, they really kind of feed back to us about like fabrics and materials and stuff like that, and like we hugely appreciate that. So we want to give them more business because we want them to grow and grow with us and stuff like that. And at the very start you can, and we do feel like a small fish in a giant pond, and an even more giant pond when you're thinking not even just the outdoor kind of space but the bigger space in fashion in general. But like if we can just be that little fish who does a little bit more, grows sustainably, grows organically, just grows within their means and grows really tall and premium without compromising on everything else, I think.
Stick to our values. We had a huge team meeting a couple months ago, and it was like all our team have now started to like compile what they believe our core values are, and we're going to sit down and really trash out like, okay, here are our 6 to 8 core values as a company now. And your company core values are a set of guidelines that may or may not change over time. You'd hope that maybe they would evolve, but we're going to base every single decision off our core values moving forward. So does this align with our core values? Does this partnership align with our core values? Does this corporate client or wholesaler align with our core values? If they don't, apologies, but we're moving forward, and we will only align with people who align with our core values, and we'll only make business decisions and create products that align with our core values as well. So it's great crack. It might look stressful, but like it's class. It's and brilliant.
The idea of kind of this kind of YouTube channel is to take you guys more on the behind the scenes and like document this journey, because I feel like, and someone told me at the very start, and I really wish we would have done it at the start, and I feel like every small business gets busy, but it will be so fun to look back in this in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, and 10 years' time, and documenting this journey of bringing Out West to where we want it to be. Will be really cool to look back on. So for any small business out there or any person starting a business, start documenting it now, because we do look back at some small videos of me sitting on the floor of the apartment cutting out logos to see what size they should be on garments, and it's really cool to see everything that we have now. But the future of Out West is in our hands basically, and we're planning to grow, and we want to take you guys basically along with us and try and keep you up to date and have a good time, because as I say, the underlying thing, it's part of the journey and not the destination. So we want to take you on that journey.
Stay tuned for more. I suppose, side note, it's been nearly 5 years since I completed a hard endurance event, and I'm currently in preparation for something.
Yeah. So
Stay tuned for more.
that'll be a big part of that as well.
Stay tuned for more. But thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you're a fan of Out West, thank you. If you're not a fan of Out West, we're coming for you. You will become. And we appreciate support. Stay tuned. There's been a lot of fun so far, and it's going to be a lot more fun moving forward.
Thanks.